Hi, I'm Dr. Shivadev, Psychiatrist and Sexual Health Specialist. I have about 16 years of experience in dealing with psychosexual health and mental health too. My clinic is in Koramangala. I'm a co-founder of PassionFruit Top-Notch Wellness. Oral sex can be safe, satisfying, as well as emotionally connecting. But it comes with its own merits and demerits as well, depending on how an individual perceives it. Oral sex is safe in terms of pregnancy, but not so safe when it comes to STDs and infections, as it can still transmit sexually transmitted infections. Is it satisfying? Again, depends on the way that the individual views oral sex. Some are very open to oral sex and that they thoroughly enjoy it, whereas some feels it's inhibitive as well as restrictive. So depending on the person's individual preferences, this can vary. Is it emotionally connected? Of course, yes. It can be very satisfying if you're working with a lot of insight, awareness, and see this as a pleasure rather than as a pressure. And it is important to have mutual respect and consent when you're engaging in oral sex. Research suggests that sexual pleasure is not only about intercourse. It's a very important thing to understand because a lot of people just focus on intercourse, and also porn and other materials may make someone believe that sex is only about intercourse, whereas oral sex is more about pleasure, it's about connection. It also engages in the couple focusing on the partner's pleasure rather than only on themselves. And when mutually engaged in oral sex, it can be satisfying to both the partners equally because there is absolutely no sense of pressure involved in it, and it is thoroughly that you are able to focus on the pleasure points, how the partner wants it, what are all the various activities and sensations that you experience in oral sex, which can be mutually beneficial and comforting as well. Journal of Sex Research 2017, a paper was published which also says that oral sex can bring two people emotionally close to each other. It also has its biological origins, whereas when people are engaging in pleasure through oral sex, bonding hormone called Oxytocin is released in the individuals, helping them to pair bond better. You also need to know that for oral sex, you need trust, and being vulnerable is important. So thereby, through these physical activities, you also develop emotional bonding, closeness, willing to trust yourself and the partner, and the most important thing is you are able to be vulnerable without a sense of shame, guilt, or pleasure. This is often underestimated. Oral sex can definitely spread STIs. Some of the most commonest infections that can spread through these things are Herpes Simplex Virus, that is HSV 1 and 2, Gonorrhea, Syphilis, as well as HPV. Talking about oral sex and HPV, this is one of the most important things to know because sometimes HPV can also lead to oropharyngeal cancers, which is increasing globally in terms of incidence. So it is important to know some of these factors when you are engaging in oral sex, but you do not have to worry because there are various aspects that you can make it safe. Using a barrier method such as condoms and dental dams are important. Also knowing when to engage and when not to engage. If your partner or you has an active infection going on such as a throat infections, sores or mouth ulcers, it's important to avoid it. And as well as that, HPV infections can be avoided by taking proper vaccinations too. Some of the common myths with oral sex is that it's completely safe. However, it can be safe when it comes to pregnancy, but not so when it comes to spreading a sexually transmitted infections. It's important to be aware of this. Some of the commonest myths about oral sex is that it's completely unnatural, whereas a lot of people also enjoy this, and studies show that 60 to 80% of people who engage in oral sex find it very natural and are completely okay to enjoy this. Is it really safe? Another myth that it's completely safe. It is safe when it comes to pregnancy because you can't get pregnant through oral sex. However, it is important to note that oral sex can spread sexually transmitted infections, so it's better to take precautions when engaging in it. It's only for men's pleasure. National Survey for Sexual Health states that it's not only for men's pleasure. A lot of women enjoy oral sex equally too, so it can be quite satisfying for giving and receiving pleasure. So it is a myth if someone is thinking it's only for men's pleasure. The most important thing to note about why communication is important is because there is a lot of shame, fear, and rejection. Isn't it important to know that when you are talking to your partner, you should not have all these things, only then you can feel safe and communicative. Hence, communication is a very important tool about sharing your preferences, what you like, what you don't like, because only then both of you can engage in a mutually satisfying oral experiences. Research also suggests that when you talk openly about sex, you're able to enjoy it more, and couple satisfaction is high when at least you are able to talk about these things, and that is a starting point for an enjoyable sex. Some of the practical tips that I give out to patients in my clinic is to simply understand in 3 terms: yes, no, and maybe. If you are able to understand that and communicate, some points are okay, some are not so okay, and some maybe you're curious and willing to try as a maybe category, and sharing these things can help you to overcome fear and shame, and then understand that it's really okay to be accepted and also accept the partner's wishes and see where you can meet midpoint.